Okay, so now we're going to be starting Chapter 5, and Chapter 5 is about the relationships within triangles. Our first section is about midsegments of triangles. Our objective is to use properties of midsegments to solve problems. So we're going to take a first look at the definition of midsegment. Midsegment is a segment that connects the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. So write the word midpoints here. Let's look at the diagram. It says midsegment is a segment that connects the midpoints of two sides. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to mark my midpoints. Okay? This side here, from this corner to here, and then here to here, these are marked as congruent. So I know that's my midpoint. Same thing on this side, these are marked as equal. So I know that this is my midpoint. I'm just putting them in the diagram so you see. I'm going to highlight my mid-segment here, just so you can see our diagram. Okay, down to the theorem. It says, if a segment joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, then the segment is parallel to the third side and is half as long. That's a lot to take on. It says, if it joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, then the segment is parallel to the third side and is half as long. So let's look here. It says if D is the midpoint of CA, so here's D, it's the midpoint of CA. I'm just going to emphasize it for you. And E is the midpoint of CB. Here's E, here's my CB. It's marked as equal. Then I can look at my mid-segment here, DE. It says then the segment is parallel to the third side. We knew this side and this side, so our third side is AB. DE is parallel to AB. So this second part of the theorem, it says and is half as long. So let's look at DE. DE can equal 1/2 the length of AB. So DE would be half of this whole length. Or AB would be equal to 2 times the length of DE. So the whole length of AB would be twice the amount of DE. That's what this theorem tells us. Both that they're parallel and the mid-segment is half of the third side. So we're going to move on to problem 1. It says identifying parallel segments. What are the three pairs of parallel segments in triangle DEF? So I'm going to mark with my highlighter my three mid-segments, RT, RS, and ST, just so I could see them. I'm also going to highlight my midpoints just to make sure you guys can see them too. Okay? So I'm going to start with RS. Mid-segment RS is parallel to this third side DF. Mid-segment RT is parallel to line EF. And finally, TS is parallel to ED. Those are my three pairs of parallel segments. So this second part of the question, what are the statements about the mid-segments being half? So let's start with RS. We can look at RS. It's parallel to DF. RS is also equal to 1/2 times DF. Okay? Next I want to look at ED. ED is this big long line here. So we have to find which mid-segment. Is it parallel to? That's T. Okay? So that's 2 times that. So you can take 2 of these will equal 1 of these. And finally, let's look at EF. EF would be equal to, here's EF, it would be equal to 2 times RT. So I want you to try the got it problem first. I want you to push pause and then play it when you're ready. And I also want to note, picture, you should draw the picture for part A. Okay, so now I want you to pause the video and work on the got it problem and then push play again to check it out. I'm going to continue on. So I said that you have to draw the picture for part A. So draw a triangle. We'll do part A over here. Okay. There's my triangle. I'm going to mark X, Y, and Z. It says that A is the midpoint of XY. So here's my XY. I'll draw my letter A here, my point A. And then I'm going to mark that it's a midpoint to my sides. Same thing, B is the midpoint of YZ. So I'll mark my point B here. And mark both of those segments as congruent. And finally, C is the midpoint of XZ. So I'll mark my C there and mark those sides. So I'm going to take my marker and just emphasize what my mid-segments are here, here, and here, okay? So let's start with AC. AC would be parallel to which one? AC is here. It's going to be parallel to YZ. How about BC? BC is parallel to which line? It's YX. Finally, AD. AD here is parallel to XZ. That's it for part A. Now go on to part B. It says, what is the measure of angle VUO in the figure at the right? Explain your reasoning. So we're going to look at our picture here on the right hand side. UV is the mid-segment of triangle NOM. Do you see UV here? It is the mid-segment of NOM. So do you see how it's marked here? So here's my midpoint here. Same thing for MO, here's my midpoint here. So I'm going to mark it in blue just so you can see the mid-segment here. Okay. So because of the mid-segment,